All right, Algebra 1, we are finishing up factoring today. We're doing day 4, practicing the slide method. All right, so let's go ahead and jump to, let's see, page 16, I think it is. So when we did yesterday, we used the slide method to factor when there is a coefficient, so we have to do that again today. But what I want to do is solve them to figure out what x equals, not just factor. So I want to find the zeros. So factor and solve. So if I do number 1, remember, my first step is to do 2 times 10. So that gives me x squared plus 18x minus 20. So I have factors of 20. So that's 1 and 20. I've got 2 and 10. I've got 4 and 5. Well, I can see that I'm going to use 2 and 10. Where 2 is negative, 10 is positive. So I've got x minus 2. X plus 10. And remember, I have to take away what I multiplied by at the beginning. So I have to divide each of these by 2. So I've got x minus 1. And I've got x plus 5. And that is my answer. Well, so it works if you did it like that. But if you go back and look at the original equation, is there a GCF there? And the answer is yes, there is a GCF. So we can see the GCF is 2, so we could divide that whole thing by 2. So we would factor x squared plus 4x minus 5. Okay, so that's taking out the GCF and then factoring, which you would get that same answer. Okay, so let's go ahead and do number 2. First step, is there a GCF? Nope. So let's go ahead and do the method that we know. So 10 times negative 2. So that's a x squared plus x minus 20. Well, I already have the factors of 20 over here, so I'm just going to use those. Well, and I can see that if I want a positive 1, then I'm going to use 4 and 5. This is going to be positive, that's going to be negative. So I've got x minus 4, then I've got x plus 5. Next step is I have to take away what I multiplied by. So I got to take this 10 away, divide that by 10, divide that by 10. And what we could see is that we can reduce those fractions, which I have to do because if I don't reduce them, I won't get the correct answer. So if I reduce 4 over 10, that's like having 2 over 5. So I have x minus 2 over 5. And then 5 over 10 is the same as saying x plus 1/2. Okay, so I reduce those fractions, great, but now I need to put that in front, put this in front. So my factors are 5x minus 2, and then 2x plus 1. So now the next thing we need to do is solve so we can find the actual zeros, which I didn't do on the last one. But how I do that is the same way that we did it before. We set them equal to 0. So I've got 5x minus 2 equals 0, and I have 2x plus 1 equals 0. So for both of these, I need to solve for x. So for the first one, I add 2 on both sides. So I've got 5x equals 2, then I divide by 5, so x equals 2/5. Okay, the next one, I subtract 1 on both sides, so I have 2x equals negative 1, divide by 2, x equals negative 1/2. So that's nice because we know how to solve them, but here's kind of a little trick for you guys. So if I were to find the zeros like I just did, I can go back to this step right here, and I can check that answer of where you could set those equal to 0 and get the same answer as down here. So that's a good way of checking your answer, or you can just solve it every time, up to you. Okay, let's go to the next one. Number 3. So remember, the first thing that we talked about was something in standard form, and we know that equation was y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, or it's equal to 0 something. But if we look at number 3, it's not equal to 0, it's equal to x squared. So we need to make that equal to 0. So let's move over that 7x and that negative 12. So we know we'll subtract that 7x, but add the 12. So our new equation is x squared minus 7x plus 12 equals 0, because I wanted to move everything to the other side. So now, given that, we can factor. So does this have a coefficient? Nope, coefficient's just 1. So we can find the factors of C, which is 12. So numbers multiplied to 12, we got 1 and 12. We've got 2 and 6, and we've got 3 and 4. Our goal is to get a negative 7, and we can see that it's going to be 3 and 4, and they're both going to be negative. So I've got x minus 3. And I've got x minus 4, but remember, it wants us to find the zeros, so we need to find those numbers. So we set them both equal to 0. X minus 3 equals 0, and x minus 4 equals 0. Let's solve. So if I solve for x on the first one, I got to add 3 on both sides, so x equals 3. The second one, I add 4 on both sides, so plus 4, and equals a positive 4. So there's my answer here. X equals 3 and 4. Okay, for number 4, is it set up as it's equal to 0 or equal to y? No, because we have this 27 here. So let's move over to that 27. It's positive, so we got to do the opposite, subtract. So now we have 2x squared minus 15x minus 27. So if we look, I have a coefficient. I have a coefficient of 2. So I got to do that slide method. So 2 times 27. So that gives me an x squared minus 15x minus 54. So I need to find factors of 54. Well, factors of 54, we got 154. We've got 2 and 27. We've got 3 and 18. We've got 6 and 9. So let's stop there. So if we want to get a negative 15, let's look at our options. So if we look at 3 and 18, that could give us 15 if 3 is positive and 18 is negative. So let's plug that in. So we've got x minus 18, x plus 3. So there's our factors, but remember, we did the slide method. So we've multiplied by 2. Now we have to take it back. So divide each of these by 2. So I have x minus 9. And I can see that this one does not simplify, so I put the 2 in front. So I have 2x plus 3. Well, again, remember, I need to find what the zeros are. So I have to take the information and set it equal to 0. You can either set this equal to 0 and solve it, or this equal to 0 and solve it. So if I look at the first one, I've got x minus 9 equals 0. If I want to solve it, plus 9 on both sides, x equals 9. The second one, I've got 2x plus 3 equals 0. Subtract 3 on both sides, 2x equals negative 3. Divide by 2, x is negative 3 halves. Which again, you guys can check these answers with what you found up here by just flipping the signs as the fractions. All right, let's keep going. Number 5. So again, we want it in ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 or equals y, whatever. If we look at this one, it's not, but we can do some math to make it an ax squared. So we have to distribute. Okay, so we've got a 4x squared plus 1x equals 5. But remember, I don't want this equal to 5, so I want to move it over by subtracting. So I've got 4x squared plus 1x minus 5. All right. So the next thing we're doing is we're factoring. So we have the slide method here because we have a coefficient. So we've got 4 times 5. That gives me 20. Factors of 20, I've got 1 and 20. I've got 2 and 10. And I've got 4 and 5. Our goal is to get a 1. So I can see that I'm going to use 4 and 5, where 4 is going to be negative, 5 is going to be positive. So x minus 4, x plus 5. But now I have to divide by what I multiplied by. So I have to divide this by 4, divide this by 4. Well, 4 divided by 4 gives me 1, so I've got x minus 1. And then 5 divided by 4 doesn't simplify, so we've got 4x plus 5 because you slide it in front. Next thing I got to do is find the zeros. So like I said, an easy way of doing that is going back up to this method and kind of flipping the sign. So negative 4 divided by 4 gives me a negative 1. So I know I'm going to have a positive 1. This one here, I have 5 over 4, flip the sign, negative 5 over 4. And that would be my lovely, lovely answer. Okay, so we have one more here. It looks pretty challenging. I'm going to set you up on it first, and then I want you guys to pause me and then check your answer. So remember, distribute, combine like terms. It's already set equal to 0, so we're good. So pause me, figure it out yourself. All right, guys, so I did my distributing. So I've got 15x squared plus 1x minus 2 equals 0. So I got to find factors of 30 because 15 times 2 gives me 30. So I've got 5 and 6. So I can see that 5 has to be negative, 6 has to be positive to give me that positive 1. So after I plug them in, I take back my 15 by dividing. 5 divided by 15 simplifies to 1/3, and 6 divided by 15 simplifies to 2/5. So since those fractions are simplified, I take the denominator and put it in front of x, and then there's my factors. My last step is to find what the zeros are, which I just went back to the blue step and flipped the sign. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, let us know. Adios!